C'est la meilleure blague de la Terre!
Qu'est-ce que vous faites dans ma cuisine? Pourquoi ça pue comme ça?
Ah!
C'est du caca. Vous faites frire du caca dans ma cuisine? Non mais je rêve! Arrête-toi!
Hi, this is the Professional Amateur Hour coming to you with another review. This week, Leo sent me Mother Schmuckers. Or if you prefer the French title, I think it's Fil de Plouc, which I think translates as like the boys of redneck or something. But anyways, this 2021 film was directed by Harpo and Lenny Guit and stars Harpo, Guit, Maxi Delmelle, and Claire Bodson, among others, of course. The story of this film follows these two brothers, and they are often, bored and dumb, so they just go around town doing stupid stuff and getting into trouble. Then one day they lose their mother's dog. January Jack is the dog's name. But anyways, they lose him, and then their mother threatens to kick them out if they don't find this dog within like 24 hours and whatnot. So they have a big adventure around town looking for this dog and, get into some trouble along the way. So what will happen exactly? You'll have to watch the movie and find out. All right, so let's discuss this movie. Well, I don't think this is going to be the regular discussion that we have because I think every negative point that I can find also is like a positive point. And what do I mean by that? Well, there's this style of movie. I don't know the exact name of it. Postmodern exploitative, I don't know. But there's a bunch of movies out there that just try to offend everyone. If you know the movie, I think the most famous one is, what's it called? Pink Flamingos? That's it, Pink Flamingos. I haven't seen that movie in its entirety, but it's just meant to be offensive and filthy and nasty, kind of like a filthy, nasty movie. I think they have a category about that in the UK too. And if you don't know Pink Flamingos, maybe I can clip in 10 seconds of it here so that you can kind of see what I'm talking about.
Could you give us some of your political beliefs?
Kill everyone now. Condone first-degree murder. Advocate cannibalism. Eat shit. Filter my politics.
And so this movie is kind of in a very similar vein where it's kind of trying to be offensive, I would say. It's trying to really, it's definitely trying to be offensive. I guess that's part of the humor to it, if you find that funny. But definitely, I think it succeeds. I will say that. If that's the point, to offend everyone, it should succeed in its goal. There are many things that don't really match up with modern day culture. And what else? I gotta say, it is commendable the way they do it as well, because it's not offensive to any one group of person. There's nothing about race, nothing about gender identity or sexuality. There's nothing like that. It's just overall offensive. I think the first scene is they're cooking poo or something, eating poo, and you're that's offensive. I don't know. And there's lots of other stuff in this one that just I think everyone can find offensive. So if that's their goal, if that's what they're looking for, just like in Pink Flamingos, then they succeed. And I won't fault them for that, but I don't know what I'm really trying to say. I won't fault them for it, but I won't praise them for it either. Other than that, as long as I'm not being offended, all the other side characters are interesting, or at least most of them. I found their best friend to be very colorful and eccentric. I liked him. A lot of other side characters as well. I also liked their dog, January Jack, or Jack Janier. I thought he was a pretty cool little dog. I kept watching for him as well. So definitely there's lots of stuff that makes you follow along with the movie. And lastly, with my kind of personal experience with this movie, it is a Belgian film, so it's all in French language as well. But I thought it was just an interesting kind of concept to have rednecks in Belgium, or at least their equivalent of what a redneck would be. And I thought that was just so interesting to kind of see this cultural aspects played out on screen. I have a very distinct image of what a redneck is in my mind, and I never thought how it would kind of translate over to a European setting, or how they would fit into a European culture. And so I thought that was just very interesting. Definitely helped me, understand cultural differences and whatnot. So for my personal enjoyment, I thought that was interesting. All right, so I know this has been a weird discussion, but what did I really not like about this one? Well, I did not really get attached to the main characters. It's these two boys, and they are always fighting like children, like just kind of like trying to physically fight like children. I just thought that just took away from the movie. Like, it just made them seem like extra dumb and extra immature. I think I would have liked it done better if they could have like pretended to be like faux cool instead of just fighting all the time, or like fake cool, like with they think their vest is really cool, or they think their shoes are really cool or whatnot. I think that would have done wonders to get a connection with them, especially if, you know, they're trying to be cool but then they're too stupid to realize that they're not cool. I think that would have just worked so much better. Other than that, you know, this is supposed to be a comedy, and is it funny? I chuckled a few times, so a little bit, I guess, but it is trying to be offensive as well. So you have to understand that style of movie where it is trying to be offensive, and that's kind of partly where the comedy comes from. And so if you are into that, yeah, you'll probably get a laugh right out of it. But just a normal person not understanding that, they would be turned off by this. Me, myself, like, again, like, you have to kind of be in the mood for that type of movie. I think if you were on drugs, it'd probably be a lot more funny. But that was not my situation. So definitely, you know, it's a hard movie to discuss. Like, it's definitely one of those things where, like, it is a much more kind of a festival movie. I think it actually played at Sundance, and I've seen some reviews from that saying like, oh, they're so bold to, you know, offend everyone. And I'm just like, is that what you're going for? Like, is that something to aspire to? Like, where I come from, that's not something to aspire to. So it's just one of those things where, like, it could be much better, I think. So who would I recommend this movie for? Well, if you're in the Pink Flamingos fan club, then yeah, you'll get a real hoot out of this one. You'll really enjoy it. If you've never even heard of that movie, if you're just a regular person, then maybe stay away. As for a rating, you know, this is a difficult one to rate. I would say there's so many different things that go into it. Like, if you're a cult fan, you enjoy it for different reasons, rather than if you're like a normal audience member, you'll hate it for different reasons. And so, like, being a fan of cult movies, like, I can give it an okay score of 4 and have no qualms about it. But I can see, you know, people really loving it or people really hating it. So it is going to be a very decisive movie on both sides, I would say. And so, yeah, try listening to what I had to say and then make a decision from there, I guess. And having said that, I think that's all I want to say. So like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.